Hello everybody, Sparkster1701 here. We've got a special Siege toy to take a look at here. This is a Micromaster pack, and it is an exclusive to Target stores. It comes with 10 Micromaster figures. Each one of them is, of course, to be paired off with a certain one, so that they can be combined to form a new weapon, just like the individually released ones have been. But this is a special set limited to Target stores, and it retails for $40, which is about a fair price for what you're getting, even though each and every one of these guys in here is basically a repaint of guys that are currently available. So you're not going to see things too much new. And of course, turn it around to the back and you can get a look at each and every guy. Now some of these, of course, are taking their names from G1 guys. Right here, Wheelblaze. Wheelblaze was one of the Micromaster combiners from the Metro squad. Ground Shaker over here was included in a set where he came with a large attack vehicle that became a base. Iron Tread here is likely a rename of Ironworks, who came with a Micromaster battle station. Up here we have Night Flight, who is one of the guys from the Airstrike Patrol. Over here we have Slyhopper, who's probably a rename of Skyhopper, who we reviewed not too terribly long ago. We had a large helicopter that turned into a base. I can understand the name change on him, as Skyhopper is also the name of a Star Wars vehicle. So Hasbro trying to keep on good terms with Disney, as Hasbro is the producer of Star Wars toys and Disney Princess dolls. So definitely stay on good terms until Disney buys Hasbro out in the near future. Okay, we're going to crack this thing open and we'll take a look at the different guys, but there is something I want to make you all aware of, just so that you don't get ripped off if you go buy this set. The packaging's tape isn't that hard to burst with your fingernails, and you can easily reach in here into the back, and what can you get? Well, you can easily make off with the instruction manual. Trust me, when I found this, the first box I had picked up, the bottom tape was torn, and feeling around inside there, I could not find the instructions. So some smug kid made off with the instructions, which really doesn't do him much good if you don't have any of the guys, or if you've lost the instructions to the small ones you already had. Oh well, let's get this puppy open and start looking at some guys. Alright, we'll start off by taking a look at the Decepticons. We have here Crater Maker and Fireline. Crater Maker, of course, these two guys are repaints of the Battle Patrol. Crater Maker here, he has some articulation in his arms. You can raise his arms out to the sides like so, and he can rotate at the shoulder, although he can't go all the way around due to the pieces on his back. He can do a full splits. Raise his leg at the hip 90 degrees. And he can bend at the knee 90 degrees. So, pretty good articulation for a Micromaster character. Certainly more than his G1 counterpart, Flak, could. Now, at any rate, in order to transform him, first we put his legs together like so. I'm going to fold his head down, inside like so. And then we bring the back piece up like so. Form it up against his arms. And then we fold his legs up all the way. And he becomes a missile launcher. Becomes a missile launching tank, if you will. He does have some little wee wheels. And he rolls pretty decently. Now here we have a fire line. Adjust his arms down out of the prepackaged form, and that looks better. Well, he can't raise his arms to the side. He does have full arm rotation. He can also, once we get his arms out of the way, he can also do full splits. He can swing his legs up at the hip 90 degrees, and he can bend at the knee 90 degrees. Now to transform him, we gotta, like many of them, start off, press his legs together. We turn him around, we're gonna raise his gun up, like so. Then we're gonna fold out these pieces at his feet. And then we bend him at the hip and knees to fold them over. Of course, the instructions don't show it, but it is easier if you rotate the turret. So that way you can get the black pieces from his feet in under there easily. Then you can put the turret back to hold them, cover them up. And then we just raise his arms up and lock them in at the shoulders. And then we lower the cannon. And there is his alternate mode. He's some form of armored car. It's carrying a heavy cannon. He's also on some little wee wheels. And he also rolls pretty excellently. Now, of course, to get them ready to be in their gun mode, we start by taking Fireline here, raise the turret up all the way. I'm going to rotate it a bit so that we can get the legs out. Of course, you got to be careful when you're doing this. As you can see, the joint does tend to let go there at the hip, so do be careful with that. Fold his legs out. Try to keep everything straight and put the turret back where it's supposed to be. We gotta pop the arms free for a second, because we're gonna turn him here at the hips, like so, and then you put them back. And then you're gonna fold this in, fold the legs back up. And the black pieces here will run through some slots and connect to a couple of notches in his chest, like so. For Crater Maker, to get him ready, you'll fold down in the missile portion, like so. Then you're going to raise up the front piece. Like so, and you fold out this little post right here. There we go, finally coming loose. Just like that. And of course, you hold him that way, because the post is going to connect right here into the back of the other guy. And you'll connect them at the shoulders as well. Provided, of course, that the post does not move on you. There we go. Try to connect that bottom post first before you connect them at the shoulders. There's their gun mode. according to the instructions, is a gravitronic rubble maker cannon. Apparently is pretty powerful and has good range, but is only mediocre in accuracy. And there we go, that's one weapon. Moving right along, we'll look at the other pair of Decepticons. We have Slyhopper and Night Flight. Of course, they are repaints of the Airstrike Patrol. Slyhopper here, you can raise his arms out to the side like so, and he can rotate at the shoulder reasonably all the way around. And of course, he can also bend his arms at the elbow about 90 degrees. He can do a fairly modest full splits. It's not perfect. He can also raise his leg at the hip about 90 degrees, and he can bend at the knee about 90 degrees. Of course, he also does away with a lot of the purple that his G1 counterpart had, which is probably a nice improvement, to say the least. Alright, to transform him, we start by taking his wings and folding them out, like so. And then, of course, we're going to raise up his arms, folding them over, and then bringing them back down by bending at the elbow, so that way they form extra turbines. Next, we're going to have him do a full splits. And we rotate his legs downward, like so, so that the longer back support is pointing upwards. And then we basically bend him at the knees. And then you connect this little tiny hole here on the back of his foot onto the very tiny post right there on the wing. Just as simple as that. Do that here on the other side. Or attempt to say the least. There we go. Well, yeah, part of the one side should also connect into the arms as well, so that you have a snug and sure connection. So that's elusive at the moment. And then you will bring the cockpit and fold it down over the front. And you have something here that looks reasonably like an attack jet. And he does swoosh pretty good. The next up we have Night Flight. This time comes in a white color instead of the predominantly gray that his G1 toy was. You can raise his arms out to the sides like so, and he can rotate at the shoulders all the way around. He can also do a full splits. He can raise his leg at the hip very carefully, less than 90 degrees, but he can bend his leg at the knee the full 90 degrees. So not quite as nimble. It's one thing you do have to be careful of. These guys' limbs do pop off, especially the legs, very, very easily. It doesn't take much effort at all. As you guys all saw, this is a brand new toy. That popped off very easily. Alright, to transform him, it's a pretty simple process. Famous last words. You'll fold his wings down, like so. Come down here to his feet, fold them down, like that. Drop him on the table. We come back here and we fold down the large part of his plane and line it up so that it connects to his feet in a nice smooth function. And of course plug his arms into the holes on the wings. And then he becomes a rather elongated airplane. Sort of like the stealth plane that Whisper, or in the modern case, Visper, becomes. And again, you get some decent swooshing action. And then, of course, like their counterparts, they do become a weapon, merged together. To make it, you'll take Slyhopper here. Almost called him Skyhopper. And you're going to fold the nose back over the top. So as you'll see here, you got a little post protruding out. And then all you do to go along with it is just connect the two together at the back side. Got to be more to this. It's not working. Not working out as easily as the original one did. Got this. Hold on a second. Turns out we did miss a step. We were supposed to rotate Night Flight's head, so there's a little post that sticks out. Now they should combine together, and more importantly, stay together as a sword, which the instructions describe as a dual-edged soundbreaker sword. It's apparently rather powerful and pretty heavy, but also suffers from mediocre accuracy. So, there we go. With a nice sword for your Transformers. Next up, we have Iron Tread and Recon. Or Rycon, however you want to pronounce it. These guys are repaints for the Offroad Patrol, which apparently should be in stores. But my local stores don't stock very well. Jerks. But at any rate, we'll start with Iron Tread here. Iron Tread here can rotate his arms. At least straight up and down. He can't go all the way. His legs separate about so far. He can raise his leg at the hip about 90 degrees. And he can bend at the knee about 90 degrees. Oh, and he does have ability to twist here at his hips. Alright, to transform him, we apparently start by clamping his legs together like that. Turn him over and lower them down a little bit, so that we can also straighten out his arms. And then you rotate the piece on his back all the way around. There we go. And then you'll apparently bring it down on a couple of the tabs on the back of his legs, like so. And we'll connect his arms, as the notches on them will connect to the top of his thighs. And of course, fold this post down so it doesn't interfere with the driving. Before we get it all the way lowered onto his head. And there we have it. It's a miniaturized Cybertronian semi-truck. Looks kind of cute in this form. Of course, well, he has a set of 6 wheels. This first one here in the back is fake, so he only has the back wheels and the front wheels. How well does he roll on these wheels? Kind of poorly. And of course, that's usually the way it is when you got a set of them that's fake. They usually don't roll very good. Now, Rycon here. You apparently should have this back a little bit. But of course, this is a brand new toy, so kind of hesitant to break it. At any rate, he can raise his arms up to the sides. And his arms will at least go all the way up. He can also twist a bit at the hip. He can spread his legs apart about so far. He can raise his leg at the hip 90 degrees and bend at the knee about 90 degrees. Now to transform him, press his legs together. Then, of course, we're going to turn him at the hips, like so. And we kind of bend up his legs to collapse in snugly here with the back of the vehicle mode. And then we will bring his arms up, rest them in gently. And, of course, if we've moved the hood any, we just adjust it back into place. And he's a bright red pickup truck or some other form of off-road vehicle. It's got a back-end attachment to it. He's got himself 4 little wee wheels. How does he roll? He rolls pretty good, which is a nice change compared to what his partner can do. Now to get these guys ready for their vehicle mode, and as I said, I don't have their regular edition guys, so do bear with me on this. Start here with Iron Tread. We work his arms loose. And of course, we'll work his legs loose because we've got to rotate out these red pieces that are inside his legs. Come on out. That's a good piece. Then, of course, we put everything back together to secure everything in place. And then next, we're going to pop the hood of the truck. We flip out this post. Get it all the way out, and then bring it all the way down, like that. Now to get Rycon here ready, first thing we do is we bring his arms out a little bit. Enough to get his legs to come out clear. And then we got to fold them up, like so. Then we'll bring his arms back down. Then we go down here to the hood, and we fold out the little black post. Now, of course, as he forms the top end, we get Iron Tread here. And we connect the post from Iron Tread into the chest of Rycon. Gotta kind of do it gently, so you don't knock the post out of alignment. And apparently this post up here would be how the transformer holds it. And then there they are as their gun mode, which according to the instructions is a dual port scrape grinder, which is supposedly equal in its power, accuracy, and range, which are somewhat on the high end. Although I'll say, looks pretty silly if you ask me. Now we'll take a look at the Autobots Wheelblaze and Road Police. Wheelblaze here will be very similar to a previous one. The fact that we can move his arms just a little bit like so. And he can rotate his arm at the shoulder all the way around. He can, once he separates his legs, do a full splits at the hip, raise his leg at the hip about 90 degrees, and bend his leg at the knee about 90 degrees. Transforming him is pretty much a lot like a certain one that we did earlier in the episode. To rotate the fire ladder in the back, you put his legs together and fold out these white bars so that we can bend his legs all the way around and connect the white bars inside his back. Once you have him in and don't pop his legs free of his hip, that's the biggest challenge. Come on, get back in there. Once you got them all snug and secure, rotate the ladder unit back. Fold his arms up into the shoulders. And of course, we reach in here and we pull out all the portions of the ladder. And there we are. He's a fire truck. Kind of like some of the older styles, kind of like some styles of city truck where they do paint them yellow instead of red. And he does have a fully rotational ladder. You can rotate 360 degrees and you can raise the ladder almost 90. So you can have some pretend emergencies real well with this little fire truck. Road Police here. I'll tell you, he's a pain already, because when I was transforming him from the car to the robot for this, both of his legs popped off at the hip. So, something to be aware of. At any rate, you can raise his arms out totally like so. And he can rotate his arms at the shoulder. You'll have to extend it outward to go all the way around because the back piece gets in the way. He can spread his legs apart about so far. He can raise his legs up at the hip about 90 degrees. And he can bend his legs at the knee. And they pop loose again. Alright, to transform Road Police, simply fold his arms in at the sides, connect his legs together, and fold them up and over, like so, and then bring the hood down over his head, and he's a little futuristic police car. Kind of painted in a similar vein to Prowl, unfortunately. A little like something a little more original. But then again, he does have police here on the backside. Again, that's probably an homage to Prowl. Anyway, how does he roll on his little wee wheels? He rolls pretty good. Of course, we also forgot to roll Wheelblaze. He also doesn't roll too bad. Now to get them into their weapon mode, now we'll start with the easy guy. We'll start with Road Police here. What you end up doing is we fold his legs out. See, there we go. There we go. They both pop straight right off. Fold them out and pop them back in. Try to keep them together. Then we fold up the hood of the car here and bring out this little white post. That gets him ready. Now to get Wheel Blaze ready, we'll lower the ladder and fold the extension in. Of course, we're going to have to rotate it around again so that we can get the legs out. And you will gently fold them out, like so. Reconnect them. Try to keep everything straight. Rotate the turret all the way back. Separate his arms out so that we can rotate him at the hips, like so. And bring the arms back in again. And then we fold the legs up so they can connect into his chest. Just exactly like that. And then, of course, we combine the two like so. Connecting them at the post and at their respective shoulder areas. And there's their gun mode, which the instructions describe as a power shot plasma cannon. It is extremely powerful, has about middle-sized range, and isn't all that accurate. So hopefully the Transformer can compensate for that. Of course, last up are Over-Air and Ground Shaker. But of course, since they're just like the Decepticon counterparts in this set, exactly the same, we're just going right on ahead and just show you their weapon mode, which, according to the instructions, is an ultrasonic shredder blade. It's rather powerful, has some good weight to it, and is apparently extremely accurate. So, there you have it, my friends. You have 5 weapons for your Transformers. We get 2 swords, 1 for each faction. The Decepticons, of course, also get 1 gun. The Autobots get 2 guns. There's all the weapons laid out. That one's backwards. It should be like that. Now comes the million-dollar question. What do I think of it? This is all right, to say the least, my friends. It's nice that they found a way to reincorporate the Micromasters into the line, and I won't criticize them for that. The weapons gimmick that they've made with them, I've always been finding a little bit of a stretch, to say the least. I mean, the swords, they don't look too bad. The guns, however, have always looked weird in my eyes. I'm going to say it straight up. They've always looked weird to me, and I've never really been a fan of them. They just look kind of silly and a little out of place for the Transformers. Now, of course, as I stated earlier, this set isn't exclusive. You can only buy it at Target stores, and it costs $40, which is fairly reasonable when you consider the fact you're getting 10 Micromaster guys. Because, I mean, let's face it, these sets retail for about $10 each, so you'd be getting one free by buying this bundle set. However, since they're all repaints of sets that are already out there, and of course, as you saw, we got 2 that are from the exact same one, that's also a bit of a disappointment. It's again the famed Hasbro cheapness. And again, I get it, Hasbro, toys are expensive to make. I get it. But for a fair amount of the Siege line, you've been showing us a lot of cheapness. If any of you viewers don't believe me on that, well, you can take a look at the fact that we have 7 Seekers, the airplanes, and they're all the same body. Need I say more? But for those who want to add insult to injury, a fair amount of Galaxy Upgrade Optimus and Ultra Magnus are the same. Ironhide and the soon-to-be-released Crosshairs are also the same. Prowl shares the same body with Barricade and Smokescreen. Also, Ironhide and Crosshairs will share the same body with Ratchet. It's kind of the proof is in the pudding, and it's looking us right in the face. As for this set of Micromasters, well, if you like the idea of having the extra weapons for your Transformers, I say go for it. It's probably worth it, and you might get the enjoyment out of it. If you're not a fan of the way this is coming out, then it's really not worth the money. Anyway, that's my look at the Siege Micromaster pack. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you like this video, drop me a thumbs up here on YouTube. If you're new to my channel, please hit the subscribe button down below so you can join our ranks. Also, I encourage you to ring the notification bell, even though YouTube's notification system is broken. Please do use that, or check my webpage. Check out my page on YouTube to see if I've posted new content. And also, please share your thoughts about the Micromaster pack in the comments section down below. This is Sparkster1701. I'm going to remind y'all that October coming up here is Pretender Month on my channel. Every Friday night we will take a look at a Pretender from the Generation 1 line. So please check it out, and I'll catch you all later.